Hi, I'm Caleb from Schultz Ford. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of Life of an EV. And today we're going to go over EV window stickers. So some of the stuff may seem redundant. I put some timestamps here, so it'll break it down into which part is which. So we're going to get right into it. So this is an EV window sticker here. So this window sticker, this one's green specifically. Sometimes you'll see them blue, but there's a lot going on. So I want to break down each part and kind of give you the how-to guide. So with a window sticker, there's 4 main parts: vehicle description, features and price, crash test rating, and fuel economy. So we're going to go part by part and go over each one. So vehicle description first. So with vehicle description, it's going to give you your type of vehicle, the last 6 numbers of your VIN, year and trim, stuff like that. You'll see it up here. So the main difference with an EV is going to be the size of battery and the transmission. So on the bottom left there, you'll see that it's a 70 kilowatt usable standard battery. It's a single speed transmission. So with ICE or gas vehicles, whichever one you'll call them, it'll be like a 10 speed or 6 speed transmission. With EVs, so BEVs, it's going to be a single speed transmission. So it's one continual gear. Next, we're going to look at features and price. So with features and price, you'll see a blue line that separates. So above that blue line is going to be standard features. So with a Select Mach-E, you'll see exterior, interior, functional, safety, and warranties up top there. So those are all features standard to the Select Mach-E. So if it's a GT Mach-E, it'll be a little bit different, but that's all standard. The difference there is going to be warranties. So you're used to seeing 3-year 36 bumper to bumper, 5-year 60 powertrain. EVs will also have an 8-year 100,000 mile battery hybrid component warranty. So that's going to cover your battery. So below that blue line, you'll see your add-on options. So with this specific Mach-E, it's going to have the interior protection package, which like a F-150 will have 8 million different options, and the prices will be right next to them. So if we look at the base price and total options, that's going to give you our total MSRP down at the bottom there. So that MSRP is going to be in the same spot on every Ford window sticker. So next, crash test rating. So crash test rating is pretty self-explanatory. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is a mouthful, rates the vehicles on a scale of 1 to 5, like 1 star to 5 star. So the Mach-E here has a side crash rating of 5 stars in the front and rear seat and 5 stars in the rollover. So when it says not rated, that just means they haven't done the test yet or the results aren't in yet. So, the more of these are around, that'll update. So moving into the big chunk of this, which is the fuel economy. So what on earth does this mean? When you see 93 mpge or 99 city, what does that mean? So if we look at it compared to a gas engine vehicle, you're used to seeing 23 mpg or 21 city. You know what that means. That makes sense to you. It's like, oh, well, if I spend $3 on gas, I'm getting 23 miles out of it. So who understands the EV side of it? What does 93 mpge mean? So we'll get into that. I'm just going to break this down piece by piece. So I'm going to start with how they get the cost. So, they'll put on the window sticker here, save $4,250 over 5 years, and your annual fuel cost is $750. How do they get this number, and what values are they using to get it? So in the footnote down here at the bottom, it'll actually tell you that this is a 28 mile per gallon vehicle over 5 years. That's where this value comes in. And the cost estimates are based on 15,000 miles a year and 14 cents per kilowatt hour. It does not say a gas price on there. If you do the math, they use around $3 for gas, which Pittsburgh area, that's not really going to be a reality. So let's get into it. We're going to use Pittsburgh values because we're in Pittsburgh. You can use any values that fits your needs. So say you pay $4 for gas, or 14 cents per kilowatt hour. You can use those values. So we're using $3.69, which is the Pittsburgh average right now, and that changes daily, but it gives us a rough estimate. So we're also going to use 20 cents per kilowatt hour. That's what Duquesne Light says the Pittsburgh average is. You may pay 14, you may pay 25 cents. So you can use this formula, plug in your values, and see how much you would save. So up top here, I'll have 36 kilowatt hours for every 100 miles I drive. It's very important. We'll use that in comparison to miles per gallon. So 36 kilowatt hours for every 100 miles. So let's break it down into a chart. Gas, electric. So gas is going to be on this side, electric is going to be on this side. So like I said, fuel cost comparison over 100 miles, because the window sticker already gives us the value for that. We don't need to figure anything out. We don't want to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. We're trying to simplify this. So let's use a 25 mile per gallon vehicle, right? To me, that sounds pretty fair. Some are less, some are more, but 25 is that good even ground, and it's easily divisible by 100, which makes our math easier to show you. So 100 miles, we're using a 25 mile per gallon vehicle, and we know that the EV is 36 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. So 100 miles divided by 25 miles per gallon, you're using 4 gallons of gas to go 100 miles. Does that make sense? And then we know the electric, 36 kilowatt hours to go 100 miles. So we're using the value of $3.69 for 1 gallon and 20 cents per kilowatt hour. So we're using 4 gallons times $3.69 per gallon. And then on the electric side, we're going to use 36 kilowatt hours times 20 cents per kilowatt hour. So to go 100 miles in a gas vehicle that gets 25 miles per gallon in Pittsburgh, you're looking to spend just under $15, so $14.76. With an electric, you're spending about $7.20 to go 100 miles, and that's just 36 kilowatt hours by 20 cents. So they use 15,000 miles on their window sticker comparison. So we already know the value for 100 miles. So if we multiply that by 150, that's going to give us 15,000 miles. So our cost to go 15,000 miles. If you drive 10,000 miles or if you drive 12,000 miles, just change what you're multiplying it by. So instead of 150, multiply it by 100, and then it'll give you your 10,000 miles. Or multiply it by 120, it'll give you your 12,000 miles a year. We know that $14.76 is our cost to go 100 miles on a gas. So if we multiply it by 150, it'll give us our annual fuel costs. Same with electric. So we know that $7.20 is our cost to go 100 miles. If we multiply it by 150, it'll give us our annual cost of 15,000 miles a year. So we get $2,214 for our annual fuel cost on a gas and $1,080 for our annual fuel cost on electric. So, why is this number different than this number? The difference in cost of electricity. So the window sticker says 14 cents per kilowatt hour. I'm using 20 cents because that's more realistic in Pittsburgh. If you pay 8 cents or if you pay 14 cents, that's fantastic. That makes it even cheaper. But for now, I'm just using what information I know in Pittsburgh. So we know that that's our annual fuel cost, but over 5 years, it's saying $4,250 is what you save. So let's see what we would save in Pittsburgh. So all we have to do is multiply our annual fuel cost by 5 because that's the yearly and 5 years. So you're going to get $11,070 over 5 years in a gas vehicle and $5,400 over 5 years in an electric vehicle. So all we have to do is take the gas, $11,070, minus the electric, $5,400, and we save just about $5,670 over 5 years in fuel. So, you're spending $11,000 in gas and only $5,400 in electric. It's quite a savings. Like I said, you can do these calculations yourself. So we're using $3.69 per gallon. All you have to do is swap it out for what you pay. We're also using 20 cents per kilowatt hour. Swap it out for what you pay for electric. We're using 25 miles per gallon as our comparison vehicle. If you use 20 miles per gallon, all you have to do is swap it out, whatever your vehicle is. And we're also using 15,000 miles per year. Not everyone drives that much, or maybe you drive more. So you can swap that out for what is more appropriate for you and do these calculations on your own. Let's talk about MPGE. So what is an MPGE? It is your miles per gallon equivalent. So on the window sticker here, you'll see miles per gallon equivalent, MPGE, and you also see 86 highway, 99 city, and 93 combined. So, why is the city higher than highway? EVs do not consume as much energy idling as gas engines do. So, a gas vehicle you see higher on the highway and lower in the city because gas engines idle and burn fuel. Also, EVs have regenerative brakes. So I talked about that in the last episode. If you're constantly on the brake pedal, you're using your motor as a generator to power your battery. So you're not really losing as much energy as on a highway. So we know that an MPGE is 33.7 kilowatt hours. The EPA tells us that, and what they mean by that is, so 1 gallon of gas in your gas engine vehicle is going to give you about 33.7 kilowatts of power. So that's their conversion. So an MPGE is 33.7 kilowatt hours. So we also know that this specific vehicle is a 70 kilowatt battery. You may have maybe looking at one that's 91 usable kilowatts. These are just formulas. You can fill in your own values and solve it for yourself. Let's compare it to something we know. So gas vehicles have a gas tank. Let's say your vehicle has a 12-gallon gas tank and you get 25 miles per gallon. Then all you have to do is multiply 12 by 25 and you get your range. Is it that simple on an EV? It can be. So let's break it down. Let's use the battery as your gas tank. So gas vehicles have a gas tank. Your battery is your gas tank technically. So you have a 70 kilowatt battery and you divide it by 33.7 kilowatt hours, which is an MPGE. So it's like saying that your battery holds 2.1 gallons of electricity. So 2.1 gallons of electricity multiplied by 99 over here is going to give us a range of about 208 miles. So 208 miles, 224 miles. So why don't these numbers match? So various reasons. First one, regenerative braking. So EVs have regenerative braking that I've mentioned before, and they can actually recapture up to 70% of lost energy. So for example, if we're going up a hill, we're using all of our battery and we have nothing at the top. If we turn around, go back down, use our regenerative brakes, we can restore up to 70% of our battery. I'm not saying that you're going to get 70% back going down the hill, but up to 70%. If you look at it compared to a gas vehicle, if you go up that hill with a gas vehicle, burn all your gas, come back down, you're still not going to have any gas. Accessory use. So, screen use, AC, heat, all of those will decrease range because they pull power from the battery. So, regenerative braking may shoot the range up, AC, heat, screen use may shoot it back down. Also payload. So one person in the car compared to 5 people in the car. So the more weight you have, the more it's going to decrease your range. Let's look at charge time. So on the window sticker, it's going to say charge time 8 hours, right? Everyone jumps for joy because that's fast. But what are they using to charge it? Is it the one I get with the vehicle that just plugs into a 3-prong outlet? Or is it a wall charger? So on the window sticker, it says 240 volt. So this is a charge time with a 48 amp Ford connected charge station. So that is the 3rd level up. So, charge times can vary with every type of charger you use. So, here's the 4 chargers here. There's an 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro, which is for the Lightning. The Lightning extended range battery is massive. So that comes with the extended range battery on the Lightnings. The 48 amp is the recommended for the Mach-E, and that's the connected charge station. There's a 32 amp mobile power cord. So the one that comes with your vehicle comes with 2 outlets. So you can use like your 120 volt or 240 volt. So the 240 volt is going to give you 32 amps. And then the 12 amp one, which is the 3-prong outlet you plug into, a normal outlet, that's 12 amps, and it's slower. I'm going to be honest with you. So the more amps, the faster it charges your battery. But there is a cap. I'll get into it deeper in the charging section of this. So let's review. We went over the four main parts of the window sticker, and we dove a little bit deeper in the fuel economy part, and how to navigate each part. What to look for, what each part means, where they get their numbers. Also, how to calculate your own annual cost of owning an EV compared to a gas vehicle. So, how to do the calculations, what are the formulas, trying to make sense of it to you. What an MPG is and what's its comparison to an MPG. So MPGe versus MPG. So we went over that, as well as how to interpret charge times with each vehicle. So, each vehicle and each charger, what's the best option for you? And again, I'll get deeper with that when we get to our charging section. So I hope that helped. I'm going to put some timestamps here to go back and review each section. That way, when you're looking into buying an EV, you can look at the window sticker. You can look at the window sticker comfortably and know, is this range, is this MPG good for what I'm getting? So see you next week. SchultzFord.com.